Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, and you guys, GBA Season 5, Week 4, St. Louis Rampardos taking on the New Orleans Pelippers, my friend Pokemon, aka John. Guys, before we do anything here, please show your love on that like button down below as it helps me out. You know, we're trying to keep the train moving here, but also please check out the description to go show some love to John's channel as he just started over a new channel. He went from like almost 11,000 subscribers to kind of starting from scratch. So if you guys want to show him some love there, that would be absolutely marvelous. I would appreciate if you guys show him some love and subscribe to him because he's a great battler, good friend of mine, and I think this is going to be a great matchup. I'm really excited for it. I took the ice out of my glass because people were complaining about that, so hopefully that's good. And we do have a question of the day today. What has been the most impressive berry usage you've ever seen in competitive play, whether it be through using you know, a Clover Berry on a Psychic type or something to take a knockoff, or perhaps a Babiri Berry like Nips used with that Mamoswine against me? And the reason why I'm asking that is because I'm bringing Babiri Berry Sylveon, hopefully to catch that Scizor off guard, hit it with a big HP fire, and hopefully pick up a cheeky kill there. But last not least, if you want to see the team builder, check it out on the annotation on the screen. Of course, Johnson the challenge, so we're going to connect here. Might as well just accept it right now. But go check out the team builder if you guys want to see what we're working with, and you can see on the screen what I'm predicting him to bring. I talk pretty in depth in the team builder about what I'm thinking John's gonna bring and kind of like why I brought the Pokemon I brought. So it's gonna be a very interesting matchup here. I'm definitely excited for the match. A little bit nervous because he's such a good battler, but we're gonna find out here momentarily with the team preview, as always, what he's gonna bring. And this is interesting. I'm pretty confident in the Hydreigon, the Chandelure, the Scizor, the Donphan most likely, or Piloswine. He is actually going to bring the Virizion, which I don't have a response to. No Hydreigon, very surprised. Very surprised. Lantern, I'm not surprised to see that. I do need to do some serious quick editing here though, because we need to get these Pokemon updated on the layout as I do all this stuff live, and it's intense. So he's got Virizion, he brings a Donphan, not surprised. He does bring the Lantern, does not bring his Raikou, that's fine. I'm not surprised to see Lantern, in all honesty. I really kind of expected Lantern to be a possible bring. I think I got everything else lined up here. No Hydreigon, Virizion instead. I don't really have the best response to Virizion, but I think we can make it work. And Lantern, definitely prepared for that. So let's think about this here for a second. Let's see. Potential leads on his end. Donphan to get a Rocks. I could see the Lantern potentially leading, or the Virizion, maybe even Scizor to potentially U-turn out. I do like my Blastoise lead quite a bit though, because it handles the Donphan incredibly well, and gives me an opportunity to Scald, as he doesn't really have much that wants to switch into a Scald. I do have a good response to Virizion with Aggron. I believe in Sylveon can actually take some hits as well. So let's roll with that, man. Let's roll with our Blastoise lead as our intended plan here, because I could Toxic pretty much anything except for the Scizor, and he's got to be careful of things like HP, Fire, and so on and so forth. So let's do this, man. Let's jump right into the battle here. Gonna leave with our Blastoise and kind of see what he's gonna do. I really wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get his Rocks up right off the bat. Gotta be careful for that Calm My Reuiniclus. And again, I'm thinking that his Shandy or his Virizion are Scarf. So here's our Shell Shocked. He's going to lead with Hannibal, which I believe is his Donphan. It is his Donphan. So that is the matchup that I did want coming right out the gates here. Now I have an opportunity to click Scald here if I so decide. And it's going to do a pretty decent amount to this thing and actually cripple him if he does not have a Heal Bell, which I don't believe he does. Even though I know Lantern can carry Heal Bell, Scald is going to do about 73% to him. And his only switch into a Scald is really the Lantern. I could find out if he's Volt Absorb or Water Absorb and then Toxic him. So Scald is really my play here. Not going to overpredict right off the bat. He does swap out, so we're going to gain the momentum here. If he goes into his Lantern, which is his Lantern, I'm assuming this is going to be a Water Absorb Lantern. It is not a Water Absorb Lantern. It is a Volt Absorb Lantern. So good news for me, actually. No burn. He does show the lefties, though. So at least I know he is not going to be... he's not... And I want to put... I want to say he's Volt Absorb as well to kind of stop my Jolteon. Lefties on the Lantern. I could Toxic, predicting the switch here, or predicting like a Volt switch. I could Protect also to kind of scout out his moveset, which wouldn't be a terrible move. I do like the idea of going for Toxic right off the bat here. I don't want to reveal Protect yet. We are going to actually land the Toxic, which is phenomenal. It's going to put a timer on this Lantern here. If he wants to Volt switch out, that's totally fine with me. He is just going to go for the Volt switch, so not too surprised there. This we can see that doesn't do... do a whole lot to me. I do want to just take a look here at that Lantern spread. Looks like it brought me down. It's probably the standard Lantern with lefties, like especially defensive. Looks like it was going to do about 25-30%. I think that's right around where he netted out there. But we did manage to toxic the Lantern, which is going to really hinder its survivability, especially if I'm able to get up rocks, because Lantern is a bit problematic for my team. It's got base 67 speed, so it does outspeed a few different things on my team. But, well, yeah, it's going to outspeed Sylveon, which is fine. But at least I know he's Volt Absorb now, so I have to be careful with my Volt switches, which is okay, because I would have had to do that anyway, because of Donphan. So his Lantern actually results in a very good response to my Jolteon now. That's fine though. I have other responses for it with EQ on both Aggron and Blastoise and, you know, Hyper Voice. So here comes the Virizion. We're gonna have to... This is a tough decision here because Virizion is one of those Pokemon that can set up and sweep. I can't go into Aggron right now against this thing. I can live a Leaf Blade at this point in time, predicting him to switch. I actually want to just pull up Virizion's moveset really quick because I think Victini would be a great switch in here on this Virizion, as scary as it is, because it'll allow me to take the fighting type move, it'll take the grass type move. Let me just do a quick search on Virizion because truthfully I didn't really prepare for it too much. It's kind of a weak Pokemon aside from when it gets a Swords Dance up here. It doesn't look like he has anything that's gonna really touch. Doesn't look like he has really anything to touch my Victini. Unless I'm missing something drastic here. X-Scissor potentially, but again, his attack stat is pretty low, and his regular defense stat is pretty low. So I am going to make the switch here into Victini to potentially scout out what this thing might do. I really think I would protect here to scout, but I'm afraid of the potential Swords Dance. So, and I want to scare this thing out as soon as possible. So let's go into our Victini and kind of see what he's going to do. He's going to go for the Leaf Blade, so we do see the Leaf Blade on this thing. It's going to bring me from 175 down to about 128. Not a crit, and he shows his Life Orb, so we are going to outspeed this thing. And we see the Leaf Blade. Okay, so I have an opportunity to click V-Create here if I really want to get cheeky. Because if he's like a standard Life Orb set, V-Create will clearly knock this thing out a tremendous, by far. I do want to just U-turn though, early game. V-Create would be nice, but I can't chance the Chandelure coming in, so we're gonna have U-turn here. If he predicts that and stays in, great play on his part, but it's too early game for me to risk those kind of plays this early with something like Victini, because even if I get some chip damage off on the Donphan right now, and Lantern's actually a good response to Victini too. If I get some chip damage off on the Donphan, I could potentially drag it or Draco Meteor and kill it. Because he doesn't have anything to switch into a Draco, which is quite nice actually. Yeah, Draco will kill if I get the chip damage from the U-turn, depending on his leftovers recovery. But he's going to debate this move quite a bit here. But it's nice that I see he's at 90% now because of that Life Orb, which is really nice. I want to get these rocks up though. I really do want to get these rocks up, but I can't force anything. I can't force the Aggron in, but I do believe my Aggron is going to serve as a very good response to his Virizion. He is going to switch here, so we are going to gain momentum. I'm expecting the Donphan to potentially come in. Here comes Slim Shandy, so it is a Chandelure, so he does make a play. I could have Shadow Balled there and made an amazing prediction, but it just was not worth it, to be perfectly honest. So, let's think here. With that chip damage, I can actually go into Jolteon now and click Shadow Ball, which is really nice. I'll definitely outspeed him, and I'll find out whether he's Scarfed or not, which is quite nice. It could potentially bait in the Lantern, but that's totally fine with me. I don't want to bring in Shell Shock just yet. I do think bringing in Jolteon is a good play here. Just trying to think of whether well, the Lantern doesn't have any reliable recovery. Let's go into Jolteon here to find out whether or not the Chandelure is Scarfed or not. We'll be revealing our set as well, but I will find out if he's Scarfed right here. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball, as it's going to hit everything on his team, at least decently, and I know I can take a Fire Blast if he is Scarfed, and once I know that he's Scarfed, it's going to kind of ease my mind a little bit in terms of how I play for the rest of the match around this Chandelure. So let's just go for the Shadow Ball here. He is going to swap out, so he does lead me to believe that he's potentially Scarfed into the Lantern, which again is fine with me because I know he's lefty, so he's going to take this Shadow Ball here, and it's going to do it, you know, about 30%. I kind of want to see where this Lantern nets out in terms of that Shadow Ball damage. So he's physically defensive, so this is his response to Victini. Now I know I can take Scalds all day from this thing, but I don't want to go into Blastoise here and have it get burned. That seems like a terrible play. So I actually think I'm going to continue to wear this thing down with Shadow Balls, as I think I can pretty much stay in here. And he's just going to take more toxic damage. So I'm going to stay in a Shadow Ball. Could potentially get a Spit F drop or something. We're going to get a good amount of damage there. He is going to go for the Scald here. And if he does not get a burn, that would be optimal for me. You can see it's not going to do anything. No burn. That is amazing. I don't think we knock him out here with a Shadow Ball. I really don't. But I have an opportunity to make an interesting play. Do I want to predict him to swap here? So he's definitely not going into Reuiniclus. He is not going into Chandelure. Do I want to make a play and Volt Switch here? Because he loses his Lantern otherwise. I could potentially Volt Switch on his incoming Virizion maybe, or something to that effect. Because Virizion does outspeed me. Do I feel like the Volt Switch is the proper play here? It's a little bit risky. I just don't know whether he's going to want to save this Lantern or not. Let's think about this. He's not going to want to bring in Scizor. I could see him bringing in the Virizion because of its special bulk. So I'm actually going, my gut is telling me Shadow Ball, but the predictions are telling me to go for Volt Switch. I really want a Volt Switch. But if I Volt Switch, I give him 25% health. And then I have to take a Scald with something. A little bit risky. It's a little bit risky at this point in the match. Because I don't want that burn on Blastoise because it helps me against Chandelure. And it helps me against Scizor. I think I have to Shadow Ball again. Which hurts because I want a Volt Switch predicting the switch. He's going to stay in, so I make the proper play going for Shadow Ball. A really good roll might knock him out, but I highly doubt it. It's not going to. He's going to go for the Scald here, and we should knock him out with the toxic damage. And hopefully we do not get burned, and we don't. That is excellent, and we will be able to knock this Lantern out here. And that removes one of his huge Victini responses. It does knock him out. Good. So that's one thing down. That was really good. That was really good. So Lantern dies to Toxic from Blastoise. Technically, Blastoise is going to pick up that kill due to the Toxic. Okay, so Jolteon seems to be very, very problematic for his team at this point. It's very, very good. Very, very good. I think he goes into Donphan here. I think he goes into Donphan, which pretty much just gets me right into Blastoise. I can't Volt Switch though, but now I can Volt Switch on anything except for the Donphan, which is really, really nice. But here comes the Donphan again, so not surprised to see the Donphan come out. So what I can do here is I can predict his Stealth Rocks and go for an HP Ice and 2-hit KO this thing, but it's kind of a roll. So I do think my play is to Blastoise here, as much as I want to make some crazy plays. I'm going to play safe here. We're going to go into Blastoise. If he goes for the Stealth Rocks, I could Rapid Spin or fire off a Scald and continue to put the pressure on him. Nothing on his team really wants to get burned aside from potentially Reuiniclus. So he is going to go for the EQ here, so it was the right play. We saw the EQ on the Donphan, and that does a lot. That's because it's a crit, and that is a huge, huge crit. That is a huge, huge crit. Because that is going to hinder the survivability of my Blastoise now, which I needed for the Chandelure. Very, very bad. His switch right now is likely to either Reuiniclus or Virizion. The problem with Scalding, I think Toxic is the proper play here, or doubling out. The thing is I don't want him to get up his rocks, because I can spin against Reuiniclus later if I need to, and rocks are a bit scary. I could Toxic predicting the swap. He can't go into Scizor because of the Scald, and he can't go into Chandelure because of the Scald. So his play is to stay in, or swap to Reuiniclus or Virizion. Virizion makes a lot of sense to me. But again, if I burn him, it becomes problematic. I think he's going to go into Reuiniclus, and my response for Reuiniclus is Victini, but I can't switch into Victini right now because if he EQs me. I think my play is just a Scald. As much as it pains me to not make another prediction here, we are going to just play it straightforward and Scald here. If he goes for rocks, I can spin him because I outspeed. If he goes for EQ and knocks me out, that's fine. He is going to swap probably into Reuiniclus. John Lynch, who is that? That's actually a Scizor. If we predict this properly and get a burn here, that is going to absolutely decimate this Scizor. That does half. No burn though. Quite unfortunate we do not get the burn. But because of that damage, I'm very surprised. This is an offensive Scizor. I'm going to take a guess. Part of me wants to go for the protect here. Oh, you know what? I'm actually torrent boosted. That is why. That is why I'm torrent boosted. Let me just put myself at like 10% health here. I think that impacts it. Yeah, so let's say I'm at 10% health. I think he's just, let's just calc for regular Scizor, just out of curiosity. We did about 50%. Yeah, this is a fully offensive Scizor. There's a fully offensive Mega Scizor with max speed, it looks like. So he will outspeed us here. So I'm actually going to go for the protect would be nice, because I'm a little bit worried about him potentially just trying to kill us off here with like a bug bite or something. But if he goes for like a swords dance, we're in a lot of trouble. I'm just trying to think. Victini can come in and freely V-create if I need to, which is nice. And Salamence can intimidate and live a hit and go for a potential flamethrower. Jolteon can live a bullet punch. I just wonder if he would agility. Let's go for the protect here and just kind of see what he's going to do. He is obviously going to Mega Evolve, and I know he's an offensive Scizor at this point. Let's see what he's going to do here. Hopefully not set up on me, because I want this lefty's recovery. If he swords dances, we might be in a bit of trouble here. He's going to U-turn, so that's totally fine with me. That's actually totally fine with me. The fact that he did go for a U-turn there. I actually think at this point in time, my play is to go into Salamence. Because... Or do I let Blastoise die? I like Blastoise because of Donphan still. Because I outspeed. Do I live a U-turn? I don't think so. I think he's max attack. And I'm actually... I think he's definitely max attack adamant. I don't think I'm living a U-turn. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not going to live a U-turn. He might predict me to switch here and go for like a knockoff. Megatron is a great switch in here, but then it baits in the Chandelure. I think I go into Salamence. I'm going to go into Salamence here, because I get the Intimidate off on him, and I can wear him down with that, or reduce his attack with that, and I should be able to take any hit pretty easily, especially after the Intimidate. There's the knockoff, so he does predict that, and he's going to crit me with the knockoff and bring me all the way down. Wow. And now his Bullet Punch kills. That is brutal. That is brutal. What do I do now? What do I do now? Predict the Bullet Punch and go into Aggron. I'm going to do that. Man, that kills me. That kills me right there. And this is going to be a neutral hit, actually. I just realized how much this is going to do because I'm actually not Mega Evolved yet. That was a really misplay. Big misplay. He's going to Bullet Punch me here. It's going to do a lot more than I want. That was a stupid play, Dan. That was a really stupid play. Luckily, it doesn't do much because we are super duper bulky. Okay. My play here is actually, I believe, to Mega Evolve and Earthquake. He is going to U-turn, and I can take the Virizion on, I could take on the Reuiniclus, I could take on pretty much anything with the Earthquake. If Donphan comes in, that's fine. I think my play is to Earthquake here, although the Fire Punch is very appealing, but I think I have to Earthquake. And if he superpowers me, that's fine. Let's Mega Evolve. Let's go for the Earthquake. Rocks would be wonderful right now, but I got a Mega Evolve, and I know I could take the potential, he's got Knockoff, Bullet Punch, and U-turn. So he's going to U-turn out, not surprising. Hopefully into Chandelure, that would be best case scenario, predicting my Fire Punch or something. He could potentially go into Reuiniclus, which I don't think makes sense. I think Donphan is probably a switch in here. At which point I think going into Blastoise could make some sense, or potentially going into Mence actually in before Rocks, and just kind of sack off Mence. Here comes the Donphan, and because of this Earthquake, that is going to put him in range for the potential Draco Meteor. If he has Ice Shard, he has Ice Shard. Not much I can do about it. He does show lefties here, so he is not going to be, he's not going to be the whatchamacallit variant, the Assault Vest variant. I think I have to go into Salamence here, because I can't really touch him with Megatron, and Salamence dies once rocks go up. And truthfully, Salamence is going to get outsped by a lot of different things on his team because of the speed investment I have. So I think at this point in time, Salamence is a great play here, and if he does show that he has the Ice Shard, that's fine with me because I can switch in something to revenge kill this thing, like the Blastoise afterwards, as his Blastoise switch-ins are starting to become limited. He is going to go for a Stealth Rocks here. So he shows EQ and Rocks, and we're going to find out whether he does have the Ice Shard or not, and he's just under Sturdy range here, which is kind of unfortunate because he'll get back to it. I have to go for Draco Meteor here, and if he has Ice Shard, which he does, he will knock us out. So, a couple crits so far that have really kind of hurt us quite a bit. Donphan kills Salamence with Ice Shard, and my Salamence was really supposed to do a lot of work this match, and unfortunately is unable to do so. Now I go into Blastoise here, and unfortunately, if he goes into his Virizion, I'm in a lot of trouble. But I think I have to just click Scald here, because if I burn the Virizion, we're going to be in a great spot anyway. The potential Reuiniclus could come in here, but I have to go for Scald. To potentially burn the Donphan, or even the Scizor coming in. I do have the Torrent boost, which is nice, and Sylveon's at full, which is really nice as well, because I could take hits from the Virizion and the potential Scizor now that it's below where it needs to be. Jolteon is still viable. I still have some options. I need to keep a couple things healthy though for the Reuiniclus in case he has like a Calm Mind variant. But he knows the Scald is coming, and he's gonna have to make a play. That crit on the Blastoise earlier really killed me, and then that other crit kind of messed me up too, but what are you going to do? Here comes the Chandelure on the Scald. This is going to do a lot of damage to him. Very, very nice. It's Torrent boosted, and it straight up knocks him out. And it's not a crit. Oh, baby. I don't know if he predicted the Toxic, but that is huge. Blastoise kills Chandelure with Scald. And I think that's a situation where John just thought I was going to try to overpredict or something and go for the Toxic, but I'm Torrent range right now. My play is Scald. There's really no reason for me to do anything otherwise. I know his Scizor is fully offensive, it seems, so that's fine with me. Here comes the Virizion. Again, I'm a little bit worried about this thing potentially setting up on me, but I think Aggron can actually come in on this thing pretty decently. And I would love to get the Rocks, get rid of the Rocks here. How much is his close combat going to do to me if I go into Aggron right now? It's probably going to do a decent amount. And close combat is probably his play. And now I can freely V-create, which is really nice. Very, very nice. So, I don't believe he's going to be able to touch my Victini. I really don't. Let me calc this for Life Orb. So Life Orb, close combat does about 50%, so I don't like the switch into Aggron. I do like the switch into Victini though. I do. Because even though I'm taking rocks and stuff, I can still freely V-create, and it's going to hurt the Donphan too. So I think that's really my play. I think I could take a hit from this thing even after rocks and fire off a V-create. Unless he's got something I just don't know, but I'm expecting close combat Leaf Blade. Those are the two moves that this thing carries. We're down to half now. He's gonna Leaf Blade, so didn't need to overpredict there. That works out fine. He crits us, and we live it, but now we die to rocks damage. Quite unfortunate. Does this thing get Quick Attack? It does get Quick Attack, actually. That's something I can't prep for. I can't prep for Quick Attack. I have to V-create, I think. Or U-turn, but I do think I just gotta V-create, expecting the Donphan. Although my switch-ins as Donphan are starting to become more and more limited. But V-create is likely to hurt the Donphan decent. Let's run some calcs here. This is very important. This is a very important turn. How much does the V-create do to Donphan? It's actually going to do about 40%. That actually puts us again into range for Ice Shard now, which is so annoying. These crits are killing us. He puts us in Ice Shard range, which is very annoying. Very, very annoying. I think I have to V-create. He does not have Quick Attack. He's going to switch into his Donphan. That's fine. Here comes the Donphan. And it's going to take a sizable chunk from this, probably about 30%. unless he's like offensive or something. He's gonna be like, wow, this V-Crate did nothing. It's not really gonna do much. It does about 30% to him, and again, he's free to Ice Shard here. So now I have a tough decision to make. Do I feel like I have to swap because of the Ice Shard. It's too risky to stay in here, but he could predict me and go for EQ. Let me think. I'm just trying to think if I have responses to Reuiniclus later on. If he doesn't Ice Shard, because he could predict, like, the Ice Shard's obviously gonna kill me here. So, and I know he has Ice Shard, so part of me wants to just V-Create, get more damage off on this thing, and then clear the way for Blastoise to come in and freely go for a Scald. But Victini actually is one of my better responses to his Virizion, which is why it's so important for me. And it also beats Scizor. But being at 11 health is useless. That's the thing that stinks so bad for me. This extra damage, it's gonna force me to Rapid Spin though, which is what I hate. Because Blastoise can't live like 2 Earthquakes, I don't think, at this range after Rocks. And it takes a lot of my offensive pressure away. Do I think I'm gonna be able to Rapid Spin at this point in the match? I really don't. I think getting Blastoise in for free to Scald here is more important. Because I think I could beat Virizion with Aggron. I'm gonna V-Create. He is not gonna go for the Ice Shard. He's predicting me to switch here. He's gonna EQ us, I believe. So this works out really well. And I get the crit back. That's even better. I'll take it. He's gonna knock us out here, I'm assuming, with whatever he goes for, EQ. But that's fine. Donphan kills Victini with EQ. So we make a really good play there. Now I'm free to go into Blastoise and Scald something, which is really nice. The other thing, I mean, I think Blastoise. Sylveon can come in too, but I don't want to take the unnecessary damage. Let's go into Blastoise. I can live in Ice Shard, and I can freely Scald. And we are still in Torrent range. I think this is our proper play here. Because if he goes into Virizion and we burn it, it's really done. So let's go for the Scald. And with Victini gone, we don't have to Rapid Spin. So let's do this, Blastoise. I hated to let Victini go down there, but I had to. So Blastoise is actually going to pick up his 3rd kill, I believe, against the Donphan. The only issue I have now is my response to Reuiniclus is less and less there. Like, I have less and less of a response to Reuiniclus now. He's not going to go into Reuiniclus, though. He is going to go into his Virizion, which I think I let him kill me here at this point because I pretty much died at almost anything at this point. So I'm actually going to go for the Toxic. I don't foresee him substituting here, although he could, but I really don't. I think I'm going to go for the Toxic here, and hopefully he does not substitute. He's going to Leaf Blade and just knock us out, which is fine. So he's going to kill us with Leaf Blade, and that's okay. And he takes the Life Orb damage. So now I kind of want to see how much Aggron does to him, because Jolteon does not act speed at this point, and Aggron is at enough health where I know I can live a hit here and go for a Fire Punch and actually knock him out after the close combat drop. I just want to double check this calc here. If he's Adamant max attack, it does up to 50%, and we are over 50%. So there's really no reason why we should not live this hit here. And the Reuiniclus probably does not want to switch into a big Fire Punch here. This also gives me an opportunity. He cannot switch into a Scizor. A couple different options for us. Our play here is to just click Fire Punch, which does hit the Virizion super effectively. So luckily, in preparing for, he's going to Focus Blast us here. Curious to see if this is enough. I do have a lot of special defense investment. I did not calc for that. We live it on 10 HP. Oh my goodness, that HP bar dropped way too fast, and hopefully this will be enough. And it is enough. Aggron picking up the kill. Aggron's going to kill Virizion with Fire Punch, and that Focus Blast, I gotta calc that, man. Oh my god, I did not expect Focus Blast from this thing. So he's definitely not Adamant. He hits the Focus Blast. Yeah, wow, that was a roll for sure. I don't know if he had any investment, but I'm rocking Impish with 244 EVs and special defense, and we needed pretty much all of that to live that hit. And that brings him down to just Reuiniclus and Scizor. Reuiniclus is incredibly problematic, but Sylveon actually can probably put in some work here. Now, here's the issue. If this thing is a setup sweeper, I am in so much trouble right now. And this is why I think I should swap and just go into Jolteon. Because if he's a setup sweeper on us, I think Reuiniclus is going to put in the work. Heavy Slam does about 45%, so actually I can Heavy Slam him here. And if he goes to Calm Minds and stuff, Heavy Slam is going to do enough to break any potential substitutes. I could wear him down. He's not going to be able to really do too much. Let's go for the Heavy Slam. I'm going to sacrifice Aggron here. See if we can get see how much this does. It should do about 30 to 40%. It's going to do over half. Was that a crit? It was not. He is Trick Room Reuiniclus. That's okay. That is okay. That is okay. Let's think about this for a second. How much does Psyshock do to me if he goes for Psyshock on my Jolteon? Because that is going to be a big deal. If he is offensive Trick Room, Psychic doesn't do much to me because I'm Assault Vest, but Psyshock, he's going to kill me with Psyshock after this Trick Room. This is a very, very tough play for me. We have to make this proper. Dude. This is going to come down to the wire. He's going to beat Megatron right now. If he has Psyshock. If he doesn't have Psyshock, we might be okay. He's got Shadow Ball. Okay. Okay. Here's the question. Do I go into Sylveon or do I go into Jolteon? How much does Jolteon do to Scizor after the rocks, or after the not a lot. Not a lot. Oh man, this is tough. It comes down, how much is Jolteon at? Jolteon's not that high of health. I'm not living a Psychic, and he's got 2 turns of Trick Room left. I think I have to go into Sylveon to take on the Reuiniclus. But the problem is, it's going to be close, man. I have to go into Sylveon here. I'm going to take the hit from him, the Psyshock likely, which is, it's going to be offensive, I think. If he's Life Orb, that's... The problem is I gotta make a play. Jolteon, I don't think is gonna beat the Scizor, although he's actually not gonna be defensive Scizor at all. Jolteon has a chance to beat the Scizor. I have to go into Sylveon here, and he's gonna outspeed us. But the hope is that I can take him out because of the Trick Room. I had a feeling Trick Room was coming. My play is Hyper Voice. And hopefully he doesn't have Psyshock and he has Psychic, because we could take it better. This is a very good match regardless of the outcome. It's going to come down to the wire here. Trick Room Reuiniclus is so scary, man. Now, he does not know what set I am. By any means, he has no idea. But he's going to hit us with something. And it's going to depend on whether his Psyshock or Psychic is going to be the difference. Obviously, I could take the Psychic better than the Psyshock because Sylveon is typically a lot more bulky on the special end. He's got Psyshock. It's gonna hit us. We're gonna be able to kill him, and that does so much to us. We're gonna knock him out with the Hyper Voice, I believe. It does. Sylveon kills Reuiniclus. Sylveon kills Reuiniclus with Psyshock. I'm not in range to live this hit here, and he is way too high for us to come up with the W at this point. I don't think we can win. I don't have HP Fire on Jolteon. I have HP Ice instead. He's going to Bullet Punch and kill us here, and there's no reason to preserve Sylveon. I have to hit in power. He's gonna Bullet Punch. We have the Babiri, but because of the Psyshock, we can't live it. So Scizor kills Sylveon with Bullet Punch. And the only thing I can do here is I pretty much need a Volt Switch crit, I believe. I think that's really the only thing that'll work. because I'm not living a hit from this this Scizor. He's not invested in HP. Volt Switch is gonna do 40 to 48. We need a crit. We basically need a crit to win because I have HP Ice instead of HP Fire. If I had HP Fire, which I almost put on this thing, it would be enough by far, but I have to Volt Switch. He is gonna U-turn actually, so he outspeeds me because of the Trick Room. The Trick Room's still active. We're gonna lose the match 1-0. Ouch, man, that one hurts. There's nothing I could do there. Man, good plays, John. That Trick Room Reuiniclus, man. It didn't matter because he outsped us there at the end. But we're going to fold a 2-2. John's going to pick up the win. I can't be mad about a 1-0, man. We played really well there. That Trick Room at the end, I just didn't have a response for it. I just don't think there was really anything else I could have done there. Yeah, I can't even think of what else I could have done at the end to try to win. I'm sure there's going to be a Monday morning quarterback that tells me that I played poorly or something, but I felt like we played really, really well, and I'm really happy about this match. You know, bummed that we lost. I never want to lose a match ever, but it was a close one, man. What are you going to do? He played really well. Trick Room Reuiniclus, man. I prepped for it, but, you know, you can only do so much. I actually had Trick on Victini, but it probably wouldn't have mattered. Trick Room lasts 5 turns. That's just a long... Yeah, there's nothing I can do unless I had, like, Protect on stuff at that point. Psyshock made the difference because Sylveon couldn't live the hit. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else I could have done. Maybe go into Jolteon first, but it would have died to the Psyshock anyway. He would have outsped. Yeah, there was really... I don't think at the end there was really anything I could do. You got a couple different crits, which really killed... They, like, destroyed my Salamence and stuff. But anyway, that's going to be it, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. Please leave your love on that like button down below, as it does help out the channel a ton. And please go check out John Pokemon. And that'll be it for me, guys. I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace!